Hello everyone, just another quick video. It's going to be a quick one because there's not a great deal has happened really, is there, since the last one. We've had 2 games, but in those 2 games not a great deal has happened. The 1-1 draws with Crystal Palace and Sheffield United. 2 games that possibly we might have lost a little while ago, but this time we've clung to draws, taking the lead in both games. And you know, it's been what it's been. We've had Aubameyang getting sent off in the Crystal Palace game, sort of paved the way for the game on the weekend on Saturday with Sheffield United. But with the way the team had to shape up and form up, so with the Crystal Palace game, it was obviously a London derby. Palace have been a bit of a rocky one for us, even under Arsene Wenger, for a while now. And it was another real test for Mikel Arteta. What the team he was going to put out, the way they're going to play. Completely different to the games that he's had beforehand. And again, really attacking lineup. He's picking his best players. Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette and Ozil. He's trying to, I think, he's trying to get the best out of Lacazette. He's trying to build this guy back up again. His confidence probably has been shot to pieces as an Arsenal player in terms of getting goals. Always a man that was always getting substituted and stuff, even under Wenger. Especially his first season, he barely completed 90 minutes, did he? So I think there's probably some sort of deep lying thing there with Lacazette, and that's partly coming out in the games where he's not getting goals, he's snatching at chances, he's not really being instinctive as the striker that we know he should be and that he has been and can be. But he's still working hard. He's still a great focal point for the team, and you do lose a bit when he's playing with Aubameyang, because he's playing a different role to what he would be if he was a lone striker. But I don't think lone striker works, especially not for Arsenal when you've got the players that we've got. But this is Arteta's team now in terms of tactics and selection and whatnot, and he's trying to get the best out of them. And as I believe, watching this team, then there are definite signs of improvement. Defensively, we are making mistakes, but they're mistakes that teams normally make. They're not howlers. They're just regular mistakes, if for want of a better phrase, and that's what's costing us. And we're slowly starting to lose those a bit as well, starting to control them a bit more, if you like. You don't feel as nervous when we take the pitch that we're going to concede goals all the time, and part of that is because he's playing players in their right positions. He's stopped putting square pegs in round holes, and Torreira is being asked to play in the position that he loves and can play in. He's been made to feel wanted again at the club. The same with Xhaka. Xhaka was an outcast. He was going. Arteta's managed to pull that around. He's still not a team that probably any other of the top 4, even including Leicester in that, would take him. But he's our player at the moment, and he's getting the best out of him. And he's asking him to just play a role that he's used to. And what do you know? He's doing the job. And I think this is what we've got to focus on. That's why I'm not really concentrating on the games as such. Aubameyang getting, like I said, we'll come to the Aubameyang getting sent off in a bit. But what he's doing is he's getting his style of play across first, Arteta, and he's making the players play in a set way, and they know what they're going to play week in, week out, and that's what you need, especially when there's been a bit of upheaval and all the twisty and turnies under Unai Emery. It's really weird. Like for years under Arsene Wenger, everyone said he didn't have a plan B, just set the team out to do one way, and then Unai Emery was supposed to come in and change that, work against different opposition and do his homework and stuff, and that didn't really seem to work either. And there's a mixture of the two that needs to be found, and maybe that's what Arteta's doing. He's getting a dossier of of who we're playing against, but saying in our formation, in our style, we'll play like this, But against these guys, we need to work on getting crosses in or going through the middle or targeting certain players. That's what it feels like standing back from it and watching it from where I've been. And I think that's why the players, I mean, David Luiz looks like a different player because I think partly because he hasn't got into his head that he needs to step forward and try and make attacks go all the time. You know, he can just get the ball and lay it off and let other people do that. He doesn't have to be involved as much, and you know, maybe that's coming from there, and maybe that's why it feels a little bit different to me. And I am excited again as an Arsenal fan because you just don't know in a good way what's going to happen. You know, we lost to Aubameyang and then we lose the goal against Crystal Palace, but it never felt we could have won it with Pepe at the end there, and it didn't feel like we were going to collapse. Maybe a couple of months ago, that you would have thought, oh, it's a 3-1 loss coming now because we'll just collapse, or we'll try and chase the game too hard and leave ourselves massively open at the back. So here it comes, the Aubameyang. It was a red card. It was a red card. Studs where they shouldn't have been. He clattered into the fella. It's absolutely an absolute given. I also think that the Andrew Robertson one against Spurs was a red card because his studs were high. He was going with his foot that way. It should at least been a yellow. But this is what we're having to deal with. It's inconsistencies like this. Against Sheffield United, we should have had a penalty, I feel. Pepe was in the box, was brought down, and you know, he's getting kicked lumps out at the moment, and we don't seem to be getting any protection for that. But you have to roll with the punches. We should have probably put Sheffield United away, but they're above us in the league. You know, they're not a lesser team this time around. And you know, you've got to play the team that are in front of you. It's what I've always said about like the way that Arsenal play against Man United and Man City. They're playing the histories and whatnot. You don't do that. You play the team in front of you. This Sheffield United are a good side. They'll battle and they come away with a point. It was not a great game. Probably a point was probably deserved on either side. Just about for the effort that Sheffield United put in. Maybe not for goal chances created and whatnot. Probably the weakest performance under under Arteta that Ozil's put in. But you know, it was one of those games where we've had those before. We had those under Wenger. Sometimes they happen. Just one of those days, something doesn't click. And it was, as I said before in the intro, the opening for Martinelli and for Eddie Nketiah coming back. The Aubameyang thing, losing him wasn't that as bad. We've got enough cover just about up front at the moment. The problem we have is at the back. You know, we're playing with a skeleton back four at the moment anyway, and you've got to take that into consideration. You know, the back four we've got with Saka, Socrates, Luiz, and Kolasinac, or whoever else is playing at the right back at any point at the moment is not our first choice right back. They're not our first choice left back. Probably not even our first choice centre half pairing. So you've got to take a little bit of hope from that and think, well, if we're doing this under Arteta with these players, when we've got proper centre halves, if you like, and our proper fullbacks, who knows, something good could happen. It could click. And I think that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for one little spark to ignite the whole team, and it will go. It really, you know, we really missed Torreira against Sheffield United, and that was the first time since last season that we could say that we've missed him, because at the beginning of last season when he came in, we were like, this is the player we've been calling out for. This is the player we've always needed. The link, the Gilberto, the wall. The defender gets the ball, lays it off, gives it to Torreira. He just looks for the easy pass and gets on with it, and away we go again. Another attack is launched. So that's the position that we are really struggling to cope with when he goes. We can manage with the other positions. And so that's where we are at the moment. We've got a game against Chelsea tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st, at the Bridge. Hopefully we can get revenge for what happened at the Emirates a couple of weeks ago, when really probably we should have got a draw out of that, bar a horrendous mistake from, I'm going to say Mustafi, not Leno. I'm giving him a 3-1 on that. He doesn't make many mistakes, and he made a mistake, but the Mustafi backing off Abraham was shocking, really. But he's coming back, and he's probably learning. There was a really good interview of him at the weekend where he was saying about you try you try your heart out, and then you make one mistake, you're going to get crucified with it. It's what I've been saying for ages. You can see it affect his confidence. So we need to get back on, and hopefully with a sort of wave of enthusiasm from the fans, maybe that might be coming. And maybe we might ease off him a little bit and understand that he needs to get his confidence as well as the team's confidence back up. I do think it's one of those sort of games where we might now get the result. This might be the one where it clicks, but it's also one of those weird ones where, for want of a better phrase, it won't mean as much because everyone's taking points of everyone else. No one really wants to finish fourth, it feels like. But if we could get a little run going, we're not that far away from getting back up there. Probably, in my heart of hearts, I don't want us to finish fourth this season because I don't want us to be in the Champions League and getting hammered by those teams. We need to get I think we need next season under Arteta a complete pre-season, his transfer window, because I don't think we're going to do anything in the January transfer window. So an August transfer window for him, a complete pre-season for him, and then look to the season after to get back into Champions League. But if we can finish in the Europa League spots in the league and an FA Cup run, then who knows? It'll boost confidence everywhere. Players that are thinking about re-signing or whatever might actually sign, and green shoots all around it. As far as I can see, maybe I'm being as myopic as Wenger, who couldn't see anything. But I'm hoping. I'm a hopeful gooner. I try and be an optimistic one, which is why, as I said before, I try and leave these videos for as long as possible before I do one, so I don't just jump in and think, so that's it. Yeah, that's where we are. I will do another video end of next week after the Chelsea game, and keep enjoying your football.